Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Living for Sis, but out. That's my little what am I gonna call it? That's my little theme song, honey. We're gonna go in the studio and get that ready to go. But hi, and welcome to Refractions of Pride, Living for Sis. Please make sure to make a donation to the Forney Center and help save LGBTQIA plus youth from homelessness. So thank you. Today I am sitting down with my girl Sa'myra. Honey, bring her in. Hey.
Hey sis, how you doing?
Oh,
Yo,
girl, child. Today is has been a day. This has been a week. Oh,
definitely.
yeah. I think that like I trying to take this activism thing, and make sure I do right by our communities and doing right by my people and doing right by myself is hard. Like I never thought that I would face this much pushback from trying to do the right thing, but
Honey, it's very exhausting, but it's something that we need to do. And
yeah.
I'm happy that we're not alone in this fight. Before we go any further, happy Pride. But yes, activism was ingrained in us since the moment we like was birthed into this world. Like the moment we popped out the coochie, it was like, get
Yeah.
to it.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's talk. So tell me, so where you at? What has coronavirus? What has it done to you, for you? Where you at right now? Where your mind at? Let me know.
So let's start. I'm based out of New York City. Okay, BK stand up. But
Yeah.
I'm blessed to say that COVID has not impacted me negatively. It's only have, it's taken me away from my work because, for those that don't know, I'm an actress. So we work on set with tons of people. So it's not just I, it's all of the artists in this industry were just, not able to work. But, thanks to people like Eric and stuff, we were able to bring you guys this awesome uh, uh, um, play, the screenplay. And so, I'm keeping myself busy. I'm trying not to let the COVID thing get to me too much, but as a trans woman in this world, there are just some things that we need to have access to, and not
Sure.
having access to those things just kind of just.
But yeah, yeah. So I totally understand. I totally understand that. So like not to give too much away, I want people to know where you live, honey. But where you at? You're in New York. I think you say. Are you from New York?
I'm from New York and I'm staying in New York because I cannot move, honey. I'm scared to lose all of my opportunities as an artist and as a person of color. I might lose some of those benefits that protect me here somewhere else. But
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm still pursuing the dream here.
Yes, I love to hear it. So, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. So when you were a young girl, honey, what was your dream? Like, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Honestly, like my first my first thought process of what I wanted to be was a veterinarian. I wanted to work with animals, but as I gotten older and I started to experience my own hardships, I ended up becoming an activist
Mm,
and without even knowing,
right.
all I know that I was just fed up with, being limited in terms of work. And when I did get work, I was, placed in basements so people wouldn't have to struggle with, wanting to identify me or
Wow.
like, I was deterring people from coming into the establishment. And so I ended up interning, and then from interning, I started working at drop-in centers, and I started to see how many of us were in need. And then it happened to me where I lost everything, and so I turned that struggle into a passion, and through that passion, I was able to co-run a small non-for-profit organization, and then from there, it just kind of expanded. I started working with LGBT youth of color and
Wow.
adults alike. And then yeah, it just kind of expanded into social service work. I ended up becoming a counselor. Mind you, I'm a girl that didn't even go to college for social service work. I was to college for business, but just to let you know that where there's a will, there's a way. If the passion is there inside you, make it happen.
Wow.
But through that work, I ended up directing and writing and starring my first PSA, just for people in New York City that would just experience uh, discriminatory policing that was really disproportionate.
Right.
And then from there, it just kind of just stuck with me, and I ended up just finding ways to like nose dive into films without even knowing too much, and it really blossomed. It really did. And so I'm just kind of happy that I came into a time where the industry was blossoming in a sense where it was recognizing that trans people are people and we have more to bring than our transness, which is what a lot of people like to magnify and objectify and sensationalize, and they forget that we are human, girl. Like people just want to focus on that aspect about us, like so it's about like also managing my mental and emotional and these in everyday scenarios, because you
Yeah.
never know, like someone might try you. So like so I try to avoid people. I'd be like,
Right. No, I totally understand. And speaking on the, let's talk about a little bit about transness in these spaces. The thing about it is like I have not lived my whole 22 years of life as a Black trans woman. But I have always lived my life as me, as myself, and so. Who I am with my Blackness, with my transness, with my plus sizeness, with my loudness, I am still me. And I will always be me. I think like there are times when people want to say, oh, sis, a trans actress. We don't say Jonathan, a cisgendered actor. Like, why does that matter? You don't need that clarity. As I'm a woman, so bill me as that. Put me down.
okay.
I think that people, we get so caught up in us as if we are pieces in a museum or touring shows that people have this right to, and I think it's very hard in this day and age, because the thing about it is it's information that people need to know, but it's hard because damn, why does it have to be? Why does the responsibility fall on me? And thankfully I've been able to deal with that and navigate that in a way that is healthy for me, because I'm like, dang, look, okay, if I have to educate the kids and be assistant to the people and let them know what the fuck is up when it comes to transgender, non-binary folk, and speak on my experience, I guess that's just what I'm gonna have to do, because I want the next girl or the next boy or the next day them who NB to come behind me, and I want them to be able to walk in their fullness and live their life and exist in spaces without having to feel like they don't deserve to be there. Because there have been several rooms, even before I was trans, even before I realized I was Black, where I wasn't invited there because I was myself. And fuck that.
Yeah, it's just sad that we have to amplify our uniqueness in order to be recognized. And if you strip away our transness, then we're just Black people. And that in itself is amplified in a way that it can become negative or positive. But even in media, it's sensationalized when they say, oh, this Black person, da, da, da. And it's like, we're so much more than that. But, in a world where we like to live in boxes, we have to adjust. But then again, I tell my homegirl, sometimes we have to use what people amplify as our stepping stone to make it into where we gotta go. So if people wanna, sensationalize that aspect, don't feel victimized. Just recognize it, stand in your truth and move forward. I do recognize. Let me know if you have experienced the same thing, but there are some girls that don't want to amplify that aspect of themselves because of safety concerns, or just like you said, not wanting to be recognized for more than just that one part of themselves.
Right. But I think, and I understand that, but I think that's the time when the conversation has to be had. Because the thing is, especially and I'm gonna talk real, that in these conversations with the boys, right? Like, they want to look at us and they want to fetishize us, and like, the thing is, I don't want no tranny chaser. I don't want nobody that is looking at me like that, because that's not helpful to society, and that's not correct. And there are people who call themselves that, and there are people who and who call us that, and I'm a girl who deserves a love story. I'm Juliet, and I'm looking for me a Romeo, and I deserve that. I am a woman of the trans experience, and it's beautiful, baby. And
definitely
get into it, but not too much. Not too much. Because the thing about it is you give these niggas an inch and they take a mile.
Oh, honey, sometimes, all the fucking
Period.
time,
Period.
all the fucking time.
And
Because, it's because I don't know who put it out there, like this false stereotype about us, and they run with it. And it's like, we are people, we have so much to give. And then when they get into us and realize, oh, bitch can hold it down, it's like, oh, what a white her. We're done with you.
Right. Because
once they explore that. No, go ahead, sis.
You already disrespected me, and you already invalidated me because you didn't take the time at first to treat me like the woman that I am, or treat me like the human being I am. You expected me to be this stereotype and have these misconceptions, and so now you walked into a room that you have to leave immediately because you've disrespected the space, and you will never be invited into any of my spaces if you disrespect me, because I know my worth. I know at the end of the day, sis is that bitch, and sis will always be that bitch and will forever be that bitch, and Sa'myra and will forever be that bitch, and that's the thing. I think that we need to know that we own everything, and we will continue to own everything, because you know what, we built this shit, we made this shit, and I think that's the thing that people just you gotta realize. When I walk out into the world, the world is my oyster, it's mine, and that's not to say that it's not yours, and it's not to say that it's not theirs, but I'm gonna take my piece of life and live it up, and I'm gonna give my girl somebody too. So
shit. This is what a lot of people need to understand and take away from the girls, because a lot of people think that as the women that we are, that we're supposed to be real, bland and bagel, or like really looking over our shoulder. And it's like, no, most of us have built the confidence that most people wish they had. Right. Like sometimes, even if you clock me and you try to call me out my name, I'm gonna look at you like, you're damn, like, nigga, like, is that all you can say? I've been hearing it my whole entire life. Build yourself up. Why are you mad?
Right. But you know what? It's because they want to be like us. It's because they want to be like us. And I think the thing is, this is such a specific and a hard experience, but it's a beautiful experience. And I used to think, oh my God, like, am I doing the right thing? But Sa'myra, I cannot tell you today in my life, being my fully realized self, I have never been happier. Like, this is who I am, and I am existing, and I'm winning. Like, I am winning. Like the game of life right now is mine. And so, but if people just realize that once you become yourself and walk fully in your truth, can't nobody else say shit to you, because it does not matter. And that's what people need to understand. It's so much more than being queer. It's so much more than being trans. It's so much more than being Black. It's about living your truth and knowing that when I walk into the space, everything about me, my weight, my eyes, my gap, my nails, my everything is going to make a statement. And it's about how you choose what is stated. And I choose greatness. Everything about me is great. Everything about me is large. Because I own everything. And we all have the ability to do that. It is not opulence is not a one party favor. Opulence is something that the whole world can have.
Yeah, it's very true. That's why, like, we radiate so much positivity and happiness. That's why we turn so many heads. And, and sometimes we have, so low self-esteem where we feel not precious, not beautiful, but then, we feel like all these eyes that are looking at us are judging us. And sometimes it's just an admiration. Just because they're not saying it out loud, they're spilling your vibes down, boots, bitch. Like, can't nobody, like, jack your shit. Even if they clock you, they're going to be like, that bitch got it. Like,
Right.
Got it.
But let me tell you something. So I was at Disney. I wish I had a picture I could show. But I was at Disney earlier this year in January, and I went to the women's restroom, and I went in there looking like, bitch. I was like when I went to Disney, girl, I was looking like a celebrity. Like, them people was shook. And then I was the biggest, blackest thing on the rides, because just. That's another conversation. Black folks not being able to afford Disney World,
yes, that's true.
But we were in the bathroom, and all these like suburban white women were like staring at me, and I was like, "Oh, here we go." And I got out of the bathroom, girl, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you were so beautiful. I just wanted to tell you, you are so beautiful." And I was like, "Damn!" Like, had I
You see
not
that?
projected my negative feelings and my insecurities on those women, they were embracing me. They were like, "Look at
Yeah.
her. I'm proud of her." And you know what? That's why somehow why we gotta keep on existing in these spaces as our fully realized selves. Because like you said, sometimes some girls don't want to do that. Some girls want to, like be neat, and it's hard. And I understand, to be safe, because this it's a dangerous world. But that is my part of activism. I know that I have to, when I walk out, I have to represent for my sisters. I have to represent for the Black folk. I have to represent for the trans folks. I have to represent for the big folks, because I have to show people that this is beautiful, and this has always been, and this forever will be beautiful. And you need to see.
Okay.
Because the thing about it is, you must always uplift the platforms and the people that you stand on. And if I stand on transness and I put that in my bio, then that means that I need to be fighting for the trans people, fighting for the non-binary people, fighting for the Black people, because I'm walking with that, and I'm standing on those cultures. And I think that it's like a lot of celebrities out here that don't understand that. It's like you can't stand on these communities of the Black community, of the queer community, and not speak on it and not uplift, because they're so if you're not giving nothing to the foundation, we gonna drop you and hold somebody else up that's gonna lift us up.
This whole country has been built on our fucking juiciness, on our hard work, on our pop culture, on our ancestry, on our motherland. And even to this day, there's a lot of things that are not being given to us. Our just desserts, our reparations, our accolades, there's just so much that we're lacking. So, I take pride in everything that we're doing, especially in 2020. I know that it is a very controversial year with the whole COVID thing, and then with the killings of our people of color, and then our trans sisters. And I'm just so happy that for once that we're able to mobilize as just one constituency, as one group of people, and really amplify each other's voices while saying, hey, you're trans, I'm Black, with just realizing that we're just all people at once fighting the same good old fight. And it was just nice to also have, other group of ethnic, racial people there present, also to kind of just, amplify our voices. And I feel like as Black people, as people of the LGBT community, we have to continue to educate our Black community, to continue to amplify, our voices, our trans sisters that are being murdered as well, because of, certain types of cultural taboos that have yet to be dismantled, and it has to start with us. And it's like we have to reshape how the media is sensationalizing, capitalizing off of the trans image, and how they warp it to their definition, and just kind of take that power back, because now it's kind of being reversed. Everything that we have done for ourselves is being taken from us, and is being sensationalized and being used as a weapon to kind of bring a whole different conversation to the table that doesn't really speak to us. And I feel like that's a conversation that a lot of us are kind of scared to have, because we don't know where it's going to lead and what it can do. But a lot of people feel like trans people just came out like 10 years ago when Obama did the whole, gay rights marriage thing, but that didn't even apply to us.
Right.
Because one thing I keep telling people, one thing, we are not our sexual orientation, we are an identity. And so a lot of people have a hard time understanding that. So we have to continue to define that as well in ourselves. There's a lot that has been taken out of our hands and our controls that we have to let them know, like, we did this first.
Right, and we have to say that we have to get our voice back, because you know what has happened for so long, because we were the voiceless, because for so long, when we were getting murdered and people were trying to speak for us, they wouldn't let us speak for us. We got to take the mic back and say, no, here's the thing: trans women are women, trans men are men, and non-binary people are non-binary, and a trans woman is a woman. And when you say something like, oh, okay, well, I know you're like here. Have you ever had you sitting around some girls or your girlfriends or whatever, and they're like, oh, he is so cute, and you're like, oh, he is so cute, and they're like, oh, but is he gay? And I'm like, why does he need to be gay? And they're like, well, you know, and I'm like, what? You ignorant bitch? Like, what you got to say?
Okay.
You know, like the thing is, it's like but it's ingrained in people's heads and ingrained in people's minds because of the misconception of media.
Mm-hmm.
We have been played by men for so long, and
Yes,
if
yes.
they
And it
talk,
still happens.
yeah, in Disclosure, I was watching a documentary, and they were saying, you know, the reason why, another reason why trans women are getting murdered at these rates is because the media is showing your favorite male actors playing trans women. So you associate them with being men, and you never get to understand the perspective of a trans woman's true identity because we have had the mic stolen away from us.
Yeah.
But you have to realize that there is no set, no, there is no set, truly, there is no set way to be a woman, and there is no
No.
set way to be a man, and there is no set way to be non-conforming. People have to realize that we are so much more nuanced than all of it. Human beings experience a range of emotions, and 9 times out of 10, they're not fully understanding their emotions. And
Exactly.
we are people who have existed in this world, and we have got to understanding our true selves. And that's only the half of it. Being trans women is just the half of it. Being women is just the half of it. Because being people of
Mm-hmm.
color is just the half of it. We still got some old shit we got to figure out.
Okay, lots of it, lots of it. Like you were saying, like this industry just destroying our whole entire like reputation. It's like we can be deemed beautiful and by whatever standards that is. So we have to. They it's like we're caricatures
Right.
to them of some sort, and it's just so sad that for years that people are going to continue to dilute our image. It's
Yeah.
like look at blackface, how they used to like overdraw our lips and our skin color. And even now where all you see being perpetuated is, slave movies that were robbers, that were thugs, that were ready to set it off. My favorite ass movie though. But
Yeah, you're
but we
right.
have to, bitch, can I be but we have to break away from those. And if we don't break away from those, we have to let them know that we are retelling a story of history for these generations, or we are just creating a story. Because
Right.
even then, it instills some type of fear, some sort. Like I'm gonna use the movie Pretty Woman as an example. People had this false perception that that women were sex workers and the sex worker life was this glamorous thing. In reality, majority of the sex workers were women like us, and
Yep.
it was not glamorous. It was survival needs. Now has become such a thing where it's so popularized where people can get on OnlyFans now, and even people like Beyonce is running lines with it. But then women like ourselves are still getting locked up for the purposes of prostitution. How are you saying that we're soliciting when
Right.
it's being accessible on social media platforms? So
Right.
what used to be taboo is no longer taboo unless you're a trans woman. So
Right.
things are only applicable if you have a minority person. So you could live in a house as long as you're not black and live in a
Exactly.
neighborhood because you might be shot and stuff like that. And so
But you know
it's
what?
not.
Here's the
Hmm.
thing with that, and let's talk about it right now. So the media, and somehow, they've gotten to the point where like, oh, trans women are just sex workers, just because. Trans women are sex workers because we can't not get jobs, because we are discriminated against on a daily basis for people not understanding who we truly are and our true identity. I came to New York. I came to New York last May, and this is I had identified as just non-binary for a long time. I came to New York last May, and as I was going through my journey and transitioning and things like that, I couldn't find a job. I could not find a job anywhere, and I have never had that issue. Like when I lived in Texas, even now, like because I have great social skills. I know how to talk to people, and I'm just that
Okay,
person when it comes to the professional
but it's
field.
not enough. It's
But
not
it's not
enough
enough
to.
when you. And I was in New York City, and I was like, dang, New York is supposed to be a diverse city and understand. But can I tell you, girl, I went to a Chipotle interview. I was the only person that showed up, and I got there 20 minutes early to that interview. I was the only person to show up out of the 5 people, and I left that Chipotle, still didn't even get hired. Still didn't get
You
hired.
see?
And it was several places like that. I went to one job interview for a catering place, and I had to humble myself because, bitch, I'm a star. I ain't finna cater to no white folks. Whatever. I was gonna do a coin, honey, and sis will do anything for that money because I got dreams. So I went there and she was like, I love you. I love your personality. You're great. You seem like a great person, a great employee, but you're just a little loud. Like everything is just a little loud. And it got to a point where I was like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I don't have anything to do. And people think that trans women are just sex workers by osmosis. No, it's because we have run out of options. And because people don't want to give us those opportunities because of misconceptions, not because of anything factual. Because I'm sure, I know for every group of people has people who have it hard and people who and process that, or people who have it hard and haven't processed that. And I think that's the difference. And we shouldn't get counted out because of our identities, because that's something that is very minute to my whole existence.
Yeah. No, but that's all we've been reduced to. It's like, what are you? Like when I was trying to find work, I was being reduced to working in the basement, like I was saying earlier. So I wouldn't have to have face-to-face interactions with, people because, to them it wasn't a distraction. But it's like, how's it a distraction when you're the one bringing it up? You're so invested in something that I haven't even disclosed to you. I haven't, I haven't brought mismatched gender markers or anything like that to give you any inclination that I might be this, that, or it. Like, come on, bro, like get it together. I'm just here for the coin. And even then, I was paid way much more less. And I could tell you, I literally worked less than 15 hours a week, making about $90, $70 a week working at McDonald's and Pathmark, all while living at a hotel, a full-time college student.
Wow.
And so I try to tell people, like, when they say, like, oh, but I know tons of trans people that got jobs and stuff like that. Like, listen, everyone's journey is very different. Just because they have a job doesn't mean it's going to be the same thing for me. If God forbid, if it's a man interviewing me, not to sound sexist, but there's a lot of instances where a man is trying to take advantage or assault the individual in that interview or any closed space. And then sometimes we give in hopes that we get the interview or we won't get locked up. And it never works out because we have been reduced to nothing but a sex object. And the same thing goes for all women. And we all know what the fuck we're talking about. So that's another thing that people got to stop doing, straddling the fences and saying, oh, my battle is greater than yours. Sisters, we all fight the same old fight.
We all fighting. And that's the thing too, and it's like, how do we find pride in all of that? Like the world has given us nothing but dirt, but we still find some way out of all of it to rise up.
It's a glitter.
It turned into glitter, and look at us here. Look at us now in this moment, existing and happy and proud. Because you know what? The fight is it's all very much worth it to be able to walk out and open my eyes and exist in the world. And we haven't even talking about being on TV. Being on TV, like to make it on television is such a big thing. Like to make it like I did have you heard of Legendary, right? Like the new ball show? I was in the audience for it, and I'm on the episode for 3 seconds, and I saw myself, and I was just like, wow, like I am on screen, immortalized as my full trans Black plus size self. Sis is on TV, honey, and you can't tell me nothing.
It's an experience. You feel so proud of yourself to be a minority, to be touching, the studio space and realizing that, a few years ago it would have never happened. And, I'm so happy that you're now, experiencing that. And now that people get to see what our culture is, even though I'm a little sad that ballroom culture is being sensationalized, but it needs to be viewed because people have pushed us to the underground and we flourished, and now people want to spectate and view, because not too long ago I remember people like, what are balls? And all these people coming out, all these fucking moves, Now everybody's flooding to them to the point where real ball goers, we can't even go. Like last year they had to shut down my father's ball because there was just so many people there, and I'm like, this is my house. I'm like, what are you doing? Yes. But it's so good to see that people want to partake in something, because LGBT people were so much more than sex objects and things like that. And so I'm just so happy. Like, girl, you better continue, go to these sets, because believe it or not, that's how I ended up breaking through and becoming a SAG-AFTRA member and getting these contracts like with NBC. Then coming back to Law and Order, like that. Law and Order was like historic to have 3 trans women come back for multiple seasons to extend an episode has never happened. And so we had so many viewers and high ratings that they asked us to come back and they extended our story. So there's a possibility we might come back for a 3rd season. And so that's even more history. Trans women coming back for 3 seasons of Law and Order is historical. So even that, like, we're breaking back barriers. Even if the stories are sad stories, people are gravitating towards the seriousness of our murders, our rapes, our deaths, all types of situations. And I just want us to continue to flourish and grow to the point where being trans is just it's like a small detail rather than a major detail to us.
It's hard because in both ways, it's like we need it to be a small detail, but it also is very important. Just like blackness, I want to enter a space and be black and have it be a small detail, but it also does matter, But I don't want the negativity of my transness to have space. I want the power of my transness. Like, oh my God, look at that bitch walking in her fully realized self. Like, proud of her, because that's something that a lot of people have not do and cannot do, because some people just got going on in life, but we've cracked the code, and and I think that is beautiful for your SVU thing, and it's crazy because it's like every trans woman and every trans man and every non-binary person there is, all trans folk, like we all are activists in our own right. Like nobody is, there has not, I'm sure there hasn't, especially the white. We ain't gonna talk about it. But like we all have to fight. Like we gotta fight every damn day.
Every time we step out this door,
exactly.
Survival kicks in.
Like survival mode. But we are making it, and we just gotta show these people that we gotta let these bitches know that we have every right to be here, and we're not going nowhere. And you're not silencing sisters no more.
We are gonna rewrite the whole image of what it is to be us. We're gonna let them know that bullshit y'all heard. Yeah, especially with the boys, because the boys be like, I heard about y'all. I heard that.
Yeah, nigga.
I'm like, it might be true, but don't reduce me to just that. Because the last thing you want to be reduced to is just your blackness and just this. And that's what a lot of people do. And that's where the fetishes kind of break out into. And so, one thing that we really have to do is understand toxic masculinity within our own Black community and how that impacts trans women, because it's like, you can't be sensitive, you can't cry, you can't date a girl like us. And and that comes from the household. And it's like, how do we break that cycle? How do we talk to our older generations that are just so stuck in their ways and so stubborn? And how do we talk to our Black queens and kings and tell them, like, we're not competition. We're not trying to erase you. We're not trying to steal anyone from you. We are entering this walk of life with you, and you can stand next to us. You get the fuck out of our way.
Period. Right. We are trying to exist with everyone in these spaces and just showcase that we are here and we have every right to be. So let's have some fun for a little bit. Let's do a fun thing. So tell me a little bit, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite makeup brand? Where's your favorite travel destination? What do you love?
Shit. Okay, what do I love? I love food. I love food, water, and weed. SWW. And sleep. Throw in some good ass sleep in there. I love sleep. I am mostly vegan at home, but I'm vegetarian outside. I guess one of my favorite dishes will probably have to be like vegan tikka masala. But I love carbs. Like, throw me any type of bread, any pasta. I'm that bitch. I'm gonna get on it.
I have a great vegan spaghetti recipe. When we get back to New York, I'm gonna make you some.
Yeah, where the hell are you now, random?
I'm in Houston. So I'm from Houston, Texas.
H-Town.
down. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I had to come back home because of the pandemic. Because I was supposed to start filming for a TV show, but I can't. We can't say what it is, But
I'm here for it.
As soon as we were supposed to start filming for the show, we had to come back home. My costume was so cute, bitch.
I'm here for it. Listen. Are you gonna come back? Your permanent New York implant, right?
Yeah, I'm coming back. I'm coming back when I'm just waiting for this text saying filming is gonna be resumed, because the thing about it is, like, I'm doing a lot of great work here and I'm kind of good here. So, like, if I can just keep doing this until it's time to go back and do the work, like, I'm not trying to be in New York with no work like that. New York is too hard and too, like, I don't love New York that much to be there without no performance. I need my dreams to be available to be in the Big Apple.
Okay, it's too selfish here. It's like, oh, you wanna go uptown? $6.
Right. I'll be hopping them turnstiles like a motherfucker.
Me too, but that's the sad part. It's like, I don't want to give you my money because the possibility is, like, it might work, it might not work this Metro card, then I'm gonna be a tight bitch. But then I'm gonna go up to the lady at the booth and she gonna look at me like, what you want? And I was like,
see,
what? You chose this job. You mad at me because what? I'm a cute bitch. You mad?
Yes, totally, most definitely.
When you say that again, baby?
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? That's hard. That's really, really hard. I'll probably have to go, like, with a real classic. I mentioned it earlier, Pretty Woman in Titanic. I want a Pretty Woman to be my love story in Titanic. I wanted that to be like my Captain, save me,
Oh my gosh, I feel that. Well,
what about yours?
I think one of my top favorite movies. I'll say three. I'll say one of my top favorite movies. I love The Cat in the Hat. I love The Cat in the Hat movie. I think that movie is so funny. I love The Cat in the Hat. I love Hairspray. I love. I'm a huge Barney stan. Barney the dinosaur is my shit. So whenever I need peace, I can use Barney. But I also love Bratz. Have you ever seen the Bratz live action movie?
No.
Okay, well
thinking about it. No. Mm-mm.
It's just like quintessential, like, girl empowerment film, and just about a girl. And it's just about girls, and I just identified that so much when I was little, and I was like, yes, and they had to find boys. I was like, yes. So yes. But oh Lord. Do you live by yourself, or do you live, like, with a gang of folks, like a 4-bedroom or something?
No, I live by myself with my pets. I have a dog and a cat and, like, 2 fish tanks.
That's
Let me tell you, it's hard. It's hard because even housing doesn't want people like us. I'm like, even right now, I'm going back and forth with housing court because this building is trying to eliminate me because they feel like we're just not worthy of having, our own independent home with, contract leases and things like that. So it's like, fuck it. It's a blessing and a curse, but trust, I'm trying to effing fucking move. ASAP. Like,
I'm sorry, but you know what? It's all gonna be worth it in the end. We're gonna get our tens. We are going to get our.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh wait till all of this is over. I'm dying to get my nails done. I know it sounds really like vain, but it's a thing to me.
No, that's important. That's one of the reasons I started my whole organization. I actually started an organization called the Next Generation Project. And it is to benefit and serve Black and Brown trans folks, and to provide Black and Brown trans folks with self-care resources and mental health resources. So check us out at We Are. It's right here. Yeah, Instagram at We Are TNG, and we're actually selling these shirts to raise funds for it. It's the Black Lives Matter tee, and they're so cute. I gotta get you one.
Yes.
But that stuff like that. So follow us, bro. If you ever need, I made it. I founded it because I was like, I want the girls and the trans men and the MBs to always have something. I want us to. Yeah. And I'm also going to use it to spread awareness and stuff. So I have so much planned, and I'm so excited. So make sure y'all, check it out.
We're gonna network together, honestly, because I'm so happy that you making it work as a businesswoman, because there's a lot of businesses capitalizing off of our fucking strengths and strides in life and shit like that. And it's not for us, it's for them.
It is. But this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. And I'm so excited that we got to hear and chit chat for the world to see. I felt like we was just kikiing and carrying on, honey.
Okay, shit. All I needed was a little slip and some food. And girl, you about to be my best friend.
I cannot wait. Well, thank you so much, Sa'myra, for joining me on Living for Sis, honey. I am always rooting for you, sister, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm so excited for our friendship and to moving forward and for everything that you are doing.
Yeah, thank you for having me, sis. It's been a pleasure. I'm here for it. It was an honor to work with you and all of these fabulous cast members. Like I said, this is gonna blossom into something fabulous, and I look forward to working together and taking over the city because it's only the beginning.
Period. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Make sure y'all donate to the Forney Center. Let's get our LGBTQ youth off the street, honey. Follow me on Instagram at You Can Call Me Sis. Sa'myra, where can they follow you at, honey?
You can follow me on IG at Queen Amos. That is QWEEN AMOS, or just type in Amos and I'll pop up. And yeah, tune in. Pose season 1 and 2 is on Netflix, so please watch that, and it's on iTunes and Hulu. So check those streaming platforms and catch Law and Order and all my other shows you can watch through my BD page on IG. So happy Pride, stay safe, Black Trans Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, period. Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter. Period. Well, thank y'all so much. Keep in tune with Refractions of the Pride. We gotta still have so much good content coming this weekend, and I'm sitting down with a whole gaggle of girls tomorrow, honey. We're gonna get to the bottom. Okay. But I am so excited. So make sure y'all tune in. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.